Welcome back to the Reboot U podcast, where we focus on your business, your family, your health, and how you deal with it all. So we have a very interesting guest today. His name is Chris Bagley. He's the owner of Elite Medical, and he's got a great story because he started as a firefighter, worked his way up to being a nurse practitioner, was in the system for quite a while, and realized that he wasn't getting the results he wanted to through the traditional system. So he actually ventured off on his own, created his own practice where you have a monthly membership to do all your general practitioner needs that you have. And he's getting into, we're going to talk a little bit about peptides and medical weight loss, which might have a little bit of a stigma to it, but what we don't realize, it's because it's really not done properly, where the right questions are asked and the time is taken with each individual person. So you're going to hear about how he does this at his practice so that you can find the right place near you, or even his practice, to reach those goals that you have. So Chris, tell me a little bit about your background. How'd you get in this industry? What are you considered in this industry?
I'm a nurse practitioner. Originally, I grew up here in Marion County. I still live here in Marion County. So initially, I went to the University of Florida for, I was pre-med, and I actually majored in health science education. So it's kind of weird. I kind of came back to this. Yeah. So, and it was pretty much a focus on nutrition, health, and all those kind of things. So I was going to become a doctor, and I couldn't do another 8 years of school. So a couple years of doing that, I became an EMT firefighter.
Okay.
So I became a paramedic, and then I was working in the field, working with sick people, and I mean, that's what I did. I mean, someone's worst day was me showing up in their either cardiac arrest or trouble breathing. There's some issue going on. So I became a nurse after that. And I was working in the ER too, so also seeing people coming in when they're already sick. So I'm seeing the same clients. They're short of breath, they're having heart problems, and a lot of it led back to chronic disease. So they're suffering from high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, things like that. And the result of all those things presented to the ER. So I left the fire department after 10 years and I became a full-time nurse, and I went to nurse practitioner school. Still working in the ER, did some primary care. So in primary care, that's where I deal with people just on a normal basis. And again, it was chronic disease. Like, we just throw patches on it. You have this problem, give you medicine. You got this problem, give you medicine. You come to the ER, we fix you, turn you around, go back out, and hopefully you make a change. If not, then we'll see you back here in a little bit later on. So after seeing that, after seeing those patients and the ER, seeing those patients in the primary care system, and I really felt like we can stop this stuff before they reach that goal or reach that point. So
so you were in the trenches. You saw it
in
all
the trenches,
in person.
Yes,
that's awesome. That's a great way to transition out, because you're like, something's wrong here.
Something's wrong here. Yes, and a lot of times you see working in the ER, you see these people come in, and I'm like, what medications are you taking? They're like, I'm not sure. It's a blood pressure medicine. I can name them all. Okay. And they're, oh yeah, that one. Cholesterol, I can name them all. Yeah. Because everyone's on, not everyone, but blood pressure, cholesterol, something for GERD or gastric reflux. So either some omeprazole, pantoprazole, something like that. They all present it with the same thing. Yep.
They fall into that template.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. First question is, what is it you do, and what kind of clientele do you help?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Fabien, for having me here. Ideally, our clients are usually adults. We only do adults, so usually 30 to 55 years old. A lot of our patients come to us with issues, things like fatigue. They're just not feeling right. When you're in your 20s, you're going. You get to your 30s and 40s, and you just aren't the same anymore. So we see people with fatigue, issues with weight, things like libido issues, and just a lot of things that normal 30 to 45-year-old, 50-year-olds experience. So our practice, we deliver kind of a medically focused with some lifestyle changes in that to help people with those kind of issues.
That's cool. So would you say that you're holistic and medical, or?
A little bit of both, depending on the patient. We will use some medically, like medical weight loss, but with coaching for diet, physical activity, things like that. So we kind of do a little bit of both.
Okay. So do you agree that there's, like when you get into the medical weight loss, is that maybe there's more that needs to be done on the back end too than just like because medical weight loss, what does that mean exactly? Is it usually shots, or is it several different things?
It's several different things. So we use medications to help with weight loss.
Okay.
But we know weight loss is primarily, lifestyle changes are kind of the number one thing. So when people reach a certain goal or a certain weight, and they've tried other things, they're trying to eat right, they've exercised, and it's not working for them anymore, then they kind of come to us. And then what we do is that we can use prescription medicine to help with that. And then on the back end, we also hone in on physical activity, diet, and things like that, because there's a lot of things out there that a lot of people don't know about, ingredients of food, different types of foods that are causing us to not be able to lose weight.
Yeah, what's a couple examples? Like something that comes up a lot that you see people are doing.
Right. So I remember back in my training in school with nutrition, and we used to have the food pyramid, where we have the 6 to 11 servings of grains, and then at the very top, a little bit of fat. That's the least amount. So what I see, people are like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm eating my whole wheat. I'm doing this here. I'm not eating a lot of fat. And it's like, that could be a part of the problem. So it's a lot of education on some of the newer things that are coming out with diet and stuff like that.
Okay. Why do you think clients get to the point where the medical weight loss is necessary?
They become frustrated. They've tried to work out. They've tried to eat right. And their hormones may be off, and that's restricting them from losing weight. So what we do, we kind of dive in on why you're not losing weight, and we try to assist with that. So some people get to the point where if you're 325 pounds and you're trying to do it on your own, you're just not getting the results that you're looking for, that's kind of where we step in, and we'll use medical weight loss for those kind of issues, and other people also.
How long do you think it's the average client is trying to lose weight before they go, all right, they need to come see you guys? Like, do you have an example?
Yeah.
Like years of yo-yoing?
Yes. The vast majority are years of yo-yoing. Very rarely do we have someone that comes in and they're like, I tried to lose weight for the past couple months and I can't, I'm in here. But you'll get someone who's in their 40s and they're like, I've lost weight before, I've been able to keep it off. And then once you get to your 30s and 40s, I try to lose weight now, and it's just not coming off. And then I'll lose 5 pounds. I do okay, then I eat that one time, and then I gain the 5 pounds back. They're working out in the gym, and they're not losing the weight anymore. So the people have gone through many, many years, many different times of trying to lose weight, and they just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, okay. Is there a tip that you've been able to give somebody on the back end where things they can do at home for helping while they're doing your program?
Absolutely, yeah. Again, with our program, we will use medical weight loss if it's needed, meaning we'll prescribe medications, but diet's a big thing. Diet, exercise. So what we do typically, I always tell my patients, I'm not a fan of diets. I'm a fan of changing the way you eat.
Yeah.
So carnivore works, low carb works, Mediterranean works, low calorie works, all those things work. So what I like to tell people is, for instance, a good story that I'll tell people is when you shop at the grocery store, shop from the outside of the grocery store.
Yeah.
Try to stay away from anything in a box, the processed foods, anything with added salt. So if you want to make mashed potatoes, go buy the potatoes. Don't get the box of potatoes. Another thing that I like to have people do, take another step when it comes to diet, is try to buy local. The closer you can get from the food in the ground to your plate, the better off you are. If it takes this green bean 30 days to get to your plate, it's lost a lot of its nutrients.
Yeah.
But if you go to the farmer's market, which we have some great ones here, we have one downtown every Saturday.
Yep, I go every Saturday.
We do too. Every other Saturday because I work every other weekend. And then the Market of Marion, they also have great vegetables and fruits and things like that. So anytime you can get the food close to your table as possible, that's good. Also, having your own garden. I started my own little garden, so I go straight to the garden, out of it, and straight to the plate.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It can be. It's taken me a little while. My grandparents were farmers, so I don't have the green thumb, but I'm working on it. There's some things that work well, some things that don't.
Jesus, like how do you juggle owning a business and doing the garden?
Oh, the garden handles itself. I mean, oh yeah. I mean, it takes a little time to get it set up, but then I have my planning when I garden. There's certain things you plan for in the winter, some in the summer. Keep it watered and you let it go.
What are your staples? Like, what do you make sure you have planted every year?
Zucchini. Zucchini is very easy to plant, and they're huge and it yields a lot. Also, green beans. Green beans are very easy and they're very good too. I mean, eating a green bean from your garden is much different than from like a can. Yeah, it just has so much more substance to it. Another thing that
One more thing.
Probably peppers.
Yeah, I was gonna say peppers are super easy.
Yeah, peppers are very easy. Tomatoes are easy, but I don't eat tomatoes. I don't like tomatoes, so peppers are easy. And they're good. I mean, everything I get out of there is good. Sometimes you got to watch for like bugs, and there's types of different funguses that come up. But
raccoons and possums.
No, mine's an elevated garden. So yeah,
See, you got smart on
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Nice.
Because I used to have one, and the rabbits ate everything. So now they can't get to it.
Nice. So tell me what you think about this. There's something I've been noticing over the years when I'm working with clients on the nutrition side. Mm-hmm. And there is so much, there's like 140 different diets out there. There's all these different intermittent fasting, and this food's okay, organic, this one's not okay. And I feel like we're getting to the point where it's getting overwhelming.
Yes.
And so there was a point where I started to look more towards how the body is breaking down the food and absorbing the food.
Right.
And I've been trying to focus more on making sure the body's doing those things right as well, because if you can't break down, let's say you have low stomach acid, you can't break the protein down well, and then the undigested protein irritates the small intestine and kind of trickles down.
Yes.
So I feel like that might be an aspect that we're missing in our wellness industry, where making sure the body's working right as well. You know, have you noticed anything in that terms, or do you guys dive into things like stomach acid and?
Not really. We try to keep it as simple as possible for people. Again, my philosophy is eat natural foods, stay away from things like high fructose corn syrup, all of the dyes, all the additives. If you look at the back of it and you can't pronounce most of it, it's probably not something that you want to eat. Yeah, I mean, if your grandma looks at it and she doesn't even know what most of it is, then it's probably not something that you want. I know, yeah. So, I mean, back then, those, like our grandparents and things like that, they didn't have this issue. They ate food from the garden. It wasn't a lot of processed foods. Now we have so many processed foods out there that it's killing us.
There's this one tip I got from my grandma. It was always the nastiest thing I always had to drink. The nastiest stuff's always the best, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's called Swedish bitters. Have you heard of that before?
I haven't.
Okay. So it's called Swedish bitters. I've been recommending it for almost 18 years now. And all it is fermented roots that you drink before a meal. And what they do is it has an alcohol content because of the fermentation.
Right.
Is it revs up your stomach acid and it gets your liver and gallbladder to do their job.
Yep.
So that when you eat a meal, everything's kind of revved up, ready to roll. And then you eat and everything breaks down and it's smooth. And I swear to you, I can't even, I've tried to sell the stuff and I can't. For some reason, there's no wholesale retail.
Right.
but it's zero bloating after a meal for almost everybody when they do it.
Right.
And it has to do with the lower stomach acid. So,
Okay.
and it's like an ancient thing. This is a brand I buy. It's a Swiss brand because
Right.
I'm Swiss, so my grandma's from Switzerland.
Uh-huh.
And she recommended that years and years ago. You know,
Interesting.
And that's something that's cool. That it'd be a good tip for anybody who has like low stomach acid or digestive issues.
Right.
Just Swedish bitters before the meal. Get everything revved up, and then you get less gas and bloating.
Interesting. That's kind of interesting because I know a lot of people are on so some PPIs and things like that to help reduce acid, but that's not always a good thing. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I think this is why like our businesses would work so well together because you've got a lot of the medical side, which is I totally understand on the medical side that bridge that we need to get the body to a point. And then the fact that you actually focus on nutrition and still on the holistic side is super important.
Yes.
So it's just being able to, that's what we're missing, is being able to give people tools to help themselves, like self-care in a sense.
Right.
And I mean, you can tell me, but I'm assuming like the weight loss medication isn't forever.
No.
Like there's a point you're trying to get to.
That's correct. So again, what we like to do is we will prescribe medication to get you to a point. So let's say you're 300 pounds and you're trying to get to your goal weight is 190. So what we do is that we prescribe medications, we work on your diet, physical activity. So in tandem, those things are working together. So we're always tracking, we're monitoring, we're also making sure you're losing muscle, or losing fat and not muscle. We have an in-body scan that we always try to track how much fat you're losing versus the muscle. So once we get that revved up, we get to your 110 pound weight loss and we start coming off the medication.
Nice.
So at that point, with those lifestyle changes, eating right, exercising, you can keep that off. And that's our goal.
Nice. Give me, do you have an example? Do you have like a case study or example that's somewhat recent of like a great weight loss like that?
Yeah, I had a patient of mine, she works in a hospital, and she was about 210 pounds, 215, but she was only like 5'2".
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and she was bloated. I mean, you could tell like she was just bloated. And we started on medication, we started working with her diet, and she made the changes. She had tried things before, so she already kind of knew how to eat. We just made some tweaks there. She upped her physical activity, and she lost about 80 pounds.
How long?
It was actually quicker than we wanted because she did really well, but it was over about an 8-month period.
Nice.
So she was losing an average of 10 pounds a month.
That's still good though. Yeah.
It is. Usually we like to see about 10 pounds a month at the beginning, but as you get closer, usually it starts to tail off. But she just kept losing. We took her off the medicine because she just kept losing weight. Yeah, and she was on a very low dose of the medication. She didn't have any side effects or anything, but she did really good. She really honed in on the exercise and the diet and things like that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So now she's on a maintenance phase.
Right now she's off the medication. She's maintaining with exercise and everything like that. So, and that's our goal. That's our goal. We want to get you to where you want to be, teach you the tools to keep you there, and then go from there.
And do you know how much fat she lost out of those 80 pounds?
I'm not sure. We have to get her back on the in-body scan and see where she was.
Either way, we know she lost at least 50 pounds of fat, I would assume. And so like a pound of fat's what, like that, like a softball type thing?
Yeah.
Roughly?
Yeah.
So can you imagine losing 50 of those off the body?
That's
or
crazy.
80 even? That's nuts. That's what's like the amount of strain on the body for having that extra weight.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of the same point. I lost about 60 pounds also. And I kind of did the same thing. I started the medication,
what
exercise.
started you on that path?
I came from a cruise and I saw a picture of myself and I was like, I got to do something about this.
It was vanity,
yeah, I know. And I was probably I think my highest weight was like 284, and I was probably about 276 before I went on the cruise. Okay. And then I gained some weight on the cruise, and I was like, I have to make a change. I can't do this anymore. So
where are you at now?
222.
So you got 60 pounds off.
Yep.
How long did that take you?
The initial weight, so it's been a long process. So initially I lost 40 pounds pretty quickly. And I was doing a lot of cardio and things like that, but I wanted to really maintain my muscle mass. So I really started hitting weight training. So then I got to the point where my weight loss kind of stalled, but I could see the body transformation. So I was gaining more muscle. So muscle weighs more than fat. So I was kind of fighting the weight loss with my muscle gain.
Yeah.
And I was I'm 48 years old. I was doing high reps, thinking I'm still 20 years old.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to max out on the bench. And so I was gaining muscle. So I got to the point where I was about 240 for a while. And then I switched over to high intensity training or high interval training.
Right, okay.
So high intensity interval training. And that is really where I've kind of finished off where I am now.
So you've got a good story that you can tell to the clients.
Yep.
I feel like that's important for us. There isn't enough health clinic owners, or at least like I don't want to say physician necessarily, but the person that you're talking with and consulting with
Right.
usually doesn't look the part.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
Like, why? Why is that?
Exactly.
So I think it's cool that you've lost that weight, because then you're representing what you preach,
Yes.
which is super important.
Yep.
I would say in our industry at least.
Yeah, I know.
So you, at your clinic, give me another idea of what you guys do, because we talked about this a little bit. So there's this cool model that, I mean, it's been years now since it came out, but where you just pay monthly, right? And then you have full access to certain things. And can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So our direct primary care program, we've seen with health insurance costs going up and things like that, the premiums now are gone, so prices are really skyrocketing. So what we do, we offer primary care, kind of our style of doing it. So it's a monthly fee. Right now it's $80 a month, and we act as your primary care provider. So what we do is we can prescribe medications, we do labs, we can send you to for radiographic studies like x-rays, CT scans. We have connections locally where the prices are really affordable. I mean, you get lab work for $50, you get an x-ray for $25, $30.
That's awesome.
So instead of paying that premium plus your deductible and all those things, you enter our program, and it's $80 a month, unlimited visits. You give us a call, text, email. We do urgent care services too. I'm an ER provider too, so I see that aspect of it too. So we can treat cough, cold, congestion. You can come into the office, call us again anytime, 24/7, within reason, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we will get back in contact with you, but yeah, we handle those things there, and that's been really good for a lot of people, especially if you're fairly young and healthy and you just want to have a checkup. Anytime you get a cough or cold or something, you want to come and get checked out, you can do that, which is good.
I think that's a great concept for everybody, because it's a model that I remember when me and my wife went to get health insurance. I think this is back when Obamacare was like the thing or something. It was going to be like $370 for each of us to get health insurance. And I'm like, what the hell? We are healthy.
Exactly.
Like I have a health clinic. Like, what the hell is going on here, dude? I just want it catastrophic in case I like fall on my head somewhere.
Absolutely. And that's something that we also have too. I have another person that I work with, insurance, and they provide like a hospital indemnity plan. So if you have something catastrophic, they'll help cover that. But we do a pretty good job of trying to keep you out of the hospital. We can do a lot of things. And again, we like to focus on health. Like if you come into us with high cholesterol, I'm not just going to put you on a statin. You come to us with high blood pressure, I'm just not going to put you on high blood pressure medicine. We're going to figure out why. What are you eating? How's your workout? Like, we want to make sure with our primary care program too, even if you don't do weight loss or hormone replacement, we want to make sure that you're optimized before we start putting you on medication.
Yeah, and I think that's important for people to know is, one, there's an option where you can just pay monthly, a low fee, and get your blood work done instead of having to go through your insurance network, or even if you don't have an insurance network. And then two, that should always be what your doctor's asking is,
Yes.
Let's find out why your LDL is high. Is it the
Right.
liver? Is there something toxic that's causing liver to do it?
Absolutely.
Is the blood pressure high for XYZ? Like, start asking questions.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's part of probably why you do your system, because you actually get time with the client where you can ask these questions. Right?
Yes. Yeah. We're not, a lot of the health insurance, I guess, doctors who take health insurance, it's all about volume. It's all about how many patients can I see?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I have to get the payment from insurance on how many patients I see. And as you do that, you lose that personal connection. So, and another thing with health insurance too is they make money based on the billing. So the sicker you are, the more reimbursement you get. So if you, I know. So if you have high blood pressure, you get a certain, say, reimbursement. But if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, that's higher reimbursement because now you're sicker.
Yeah,
and
right.
the more things that you have compounded on that, you get higher reimbursement because the sicker the patient is. So it's kind of a sick care system versus a healthcare system.
Yeah, I've heard that before, for sure.
Yeah, and instead of let's not have high cholesterol anymore, high blood pressure, diabetes, but if we just keep giving you medicines, then we get higher reimbursement. So
yeah, so it's a system that I think people are becoming aware of.
Yes.
And we talked about this a little bit. I feel like since COVID, and especially the last 2-3 years, and now with the new administration, people are opening their eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And we're seeing things happen. At least at our clinic, we noticed since COVID, way more people looking for hyperbaric, way more people looking for detox.
Right.
And I feel like they're looking for things now they weren't looking for before.
Exactly.
Which is cool, because now
Very.
things we've been preaching for a long time.
Yes.
It's kind of like when your parents tell you like this 1, 2, 3 things, and you're like, yeah. And then finally somebody else says, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I should try
I should try that, yeah.
And your parents are like,
Yeah, I know. And a lot of people are researching things too. I mean, they'll get on a podcast, they'll look up what people are saying, they'll follow different groups on Facebook or Reddit or something like that, and they really delve into it, and they aren't just taking what the government says anymore. They're actually
So imagine there's people tuning in now. What do you feel like is a nugget you can give out that people should know that maybe they don't, from what you've seen in your experience?
Probably with, say, a weight loss journey, what I really try to tell people is it's not all or nothing. This is a process. I mean, if you don't work out, you don't eat right, if your goal is to lose 40 pounds in 4 months, and the first month you only lose 3 pounds, it's not a failure. This is a process, you have to make changes. So the one thing I really like to tell people is that we're gonna listen, we're gonna create a plan, we're gonna follow up. If it's not working the first month or second month, we're gonna make an adjustment. If your goal is to hit the gym 4 times a week and you only went 2 this week, it's okay. Yeah. So this is the new year, New Year's resolutions. Most are done by the end of this month. So, because they want to go to the gym 5 days a week and then they only go 4 and they're like, I'm failing. So I like to tell people this is a whole process. So and it's not perfect. Yeah, take it slow. And then we want to go for perfection, but if we're not perfect, that's fine too.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I would say for everybody to give, what I usually mention is 90 days. Like, give yourself 90 days to allow your body to make that change. The brain and the body need to work together. So like you said, if you go to the gym 5 days a week for a month, your body's going to adapt. It's going to go, okay, is this what we're doing now? And then you stop for a month and then you go back like twice a week. It's not going to change permanently. It's just going to say, okay, we just had a heavy workload. Yeah, let's go back to normal.
Right, exactly.
So I think people need to understand that we have to train the body, the brain and the body, to do whatever job we're asking it to do. And it takes some time for it to learn that.
Yeah, and it's all about developing habits. I think they say is 66 days to develop a habit. So you just got to develop the right habits, and you're going to falter, you're going to fail at some things, and if you're habit is to make sure I eat something natural or something every day, and then one day you don't, it's not a failure. It's just, it's a process.
And think of it this way, like if you're a business owner, you have kids, you have a family, and let's say you go work out 3-4 days a week. That's more than a professional athlete's doing.
Right.
And they have a whole team behind them doing stuff, right?
Yeah, I know.
So like keep that in mind. If you have all those things going on in your life and you're trying to lose weight, either you need to get a team behind you, which is what we're here for.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you need to just understand that it's going to take longer to see the results you want to see, just because you still have to do everything else.
Yeah, and we see that a lot. And our program, we kind of meet the person where they are. So let's say you're single mom, 2 kids, a 6-year-old, a 12-year-old. They have sports and those kind of things. Like we'll develop a plan for that. So we do a questionnaire. It's a very lengthy questionnaire. So when do you like to work out? When do you wake up in the morning? Those kind of things. And we try to fit certain things in so they can still have time to do it. They have to take one child to this baseball field, one to the football field, and they practice for an hour. Boom, that's a good time for you to work out right in that time.
Yeah, okay.
And if you're at the park, we'll develop something for you at the park. If you're trying to change the way you eat, but you still have kids who are kind of picky, so we'll develop plans where you can kind of make your meal alongside theirs, you meal prep yours, and so it doesn't really matter where you are, you can still make time to get this done. So if you work night shift, you're first responder, any of those things, that we really work with a lot of different people that have issues. Yeah,
I think that's what people need to know, is that you can still be super busy and you don't need to get yourself fit before you go to the gym.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's one of those things.
Yes.
I don't want to go until I'm like fit enough
exactly.
To go.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just got to get your feet in. And what's cool about your program and programs like that is you have a coach.
Yes.
And they can just coach you through it. You can still do your normal life, but have a team member that's staying on top of it for you.
Right.
And we just need that because we have so much stimulus all the time.
Yes.
I feel like we need that helper to just help keep you on track, like the accountability and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. And like you say, going to the gym and things like that. I mean, we have people that don't go to the gym. I mean, there's people, if you have a yoga mat or a garage or a front yard, you can, I mean, there's body weight exercises that we prescribe for people. There's things that you can do.
For sure.
So you don't necessarily have to go to the gym. So, I mean, we can create high interval intensity training just by your front yard. Do a couple squats. You're going to walk 100 feet, walk back. You do some push-ups. You do air. I mean, there's different things that you can do. Again, we kind of meet you where you are. So if you don't want to go to the gym, that's fine too. You have a 10-pound dumbbells or anything like that, we can create something for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about peptides that you and I do. Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So just to keep it on us.
Yes. Gotcha.
But I'm curious, that's how I originally, when I saw you at an event, I saw that you've done some work with peptides.
Yes.
And then I'm sure you do some for yourself.
Yep.
So 3 years ago, that's like not new to the market, but that's fairly new, where it wasn't just available to find everywhere.
Right.
Like now.
Yes, exactly.
And so I got into it about 8 months ago and dove deep, because I just realized when I started, I'm like, so wait, we're actually like signaling the body to do something very specific on a cellular level. Like,
yes,
that's super cool, because we've never been able to do that before or have that much access to it.
Right.
Right. So what's your takeaway of peptides? Like, how do you feel about them?
I like peptides. It's getting a little tough to get them depending on which ones and things like that. But there's some great ones out there. And a lot of these things were developed for problems that we have now. And they found that they worked, and then they never went to market, or they did, and now they're off the market. So, because now there's a drug that will do it for them.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite ones is BPC 157. It's kind of it's a peptide that's kind of generated in the stomach and actually helps with joint repair.
Yeah.
So, and we're getting a lot of great results from that. But most people today, they have some type of knee issue, they go get their cortisone shot, and we know cortisone kind of tears down the joint,
Right.
and then you end up with a knee replacement, and now you have 2 knee replacements after getting a bunch of cortisone shots just because of the pain. So BPC 157, they've done some studies, and it's actually it kind of builds the joint back, so before you have to get to that point.
So it's signaling your body to do that job?
Yes, to repair tendons, ligaments, things like that. Yep.
And it's something that your body would naturally have anyways from food, so
Yep.
it's more of a natural way to fix that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what a lot of the peptides are. They signal, like you're saying, they signal the natural way for your body to repair itself.
So this is my take on like my easy explanation of peptides. You can tell me if it makes sense or not.
Okay.
So when we eat protein, they end up breaking down eventually to a peptide.
Yep.
There's, from what I understand, like 7,000 different
There's
peptides that
tons,
we're
yeah.
aware of.
Yeah.
I think in the US, we only have access to maybe under 100 of them. Around the world, they have 400 or more that they have access to. But the idea is by putting let's say 157, doing an injection into your body, it's like a text message to the body, a bunch of text messages saying, hey, do this function with that 157 does.
Right.
And if you put it right into the knee where your pain is, it'll focus on that area. If you just put it in the fatty area, sub-Q somewhere, it'll go through the system. So it's just a way to send messages to our body to do the specific job.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty much what it does.
Break
Yeah,
it down
I know
simple,
that, and that's good to break it down like that for people who don't know what a peptide is. But that kind of is a great explanation.
And I mean, I haven't heard much downside. Have you
There
found
isn't. No, I mean, you look at the side effect profile, and it's gonna read maybe some redness at the site, and that's with anything you put in your body, any creams or anything. But a lot of the side effects. I mean, some of the GLP-1s have side effects with nausea and things like that, which we manage. But there are a lot that don't have a lot of side effects, and there's more upside to it than downside. And why they aren't putting these on the market?
Well, we know why.
Well, we did know why. I was going to say.
So, we do know why.
Exactly.
But I mean, everything from lengthening your telomeres, which is just helping your cells stay alive longer.
Yep.
Brain health, anxiety, to I think you were even saying addiction.
Addiction, yeah. They're saying some of the GLP-1s are helping with addiction now.
No way.
Because
Okay.
a lot of our problems with weight is addiction to food, but now they're finding that people have no desire to drink or to smoke anymore. So they're getting a lot of good results from that too. So this potential's endless what they can do with this stuff. Yeah.
And I've had clients ask me, what's the one that you take? And I try to explain to them, based on what I just mentioned before, it's text messages to your body, right? It really depends on what you need.
Exactly.
So if you are going to do a heavy couple months of working out, then maybe it makes sense to have peptides that help with growth, repair, inflammation. If you're somebody who's just constantly working nonstop, like an ER doc or a nurse who's like 3 days on, so many days off, maybe you need something specific for stress and anxiety and the sympathetic nervous system. So I think that's going to be the next step in this industry is how do we test the body to know which ones you need?
Right.
And I don't know if we're going to be able to lock that down, but when we can figure out how to lock those things down and what each person needs, I feel like that's going to be a huge open door to self-care and ways that you and I can help people take care of themselves at home as well.
Yeah, and if you look at some of the studies on some of these peptides, if someone's interested, they kind of look it up and they'll see these old studies that show that it works, but then they can't get the medication. So it is tough to do because if you look back, they've done studies on these things. Like I know some like Samoralin and things like that, the drugs that were HGH, that's HGH analog, but like pure HGH, they were using it for muscle wasting for patients who had HIV/AIDS back in the 80s and 90s, and it was doing great work for that. And then it never went to market. So anyone now who's who wants to kind of fight away like muscle wasting and things like that, they can't get the medication.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So, if we were to wrap it up with, let's say, something in the health industry that you feel like is like up and coming, or even if it's just peptides specifically, is there something that you feel like you're looking forward to that's coming out in the future, or that you currently have that you're going to be rolling out that's newer? Or
I mean, now they're finding, I just saw the study that NAD plus is actually helping reverse Alzheimer's. So we're actually, with the Alzheimer's epidemic now, that they're finding that even if they have it, it's slowly reversing it. I believe it was at like New York Times or somewhere that I saw an article about it. And there's a lot of those sneaky things out there that just, like we've been saying that these things work, and now they're actually doing studies and they're showing where that will go. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
do you provide NAD plus now?
Yes, we do.
Yeah. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So it's pretty good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Have you guys worked with methylene blue at all?
We haven't. I've done some research on it, and all the research that I do is great. I just haven't really delved into it.
I dove into it
I know,
either.
but everything I'm hearing is that, there's so many things out there. There's such a vast expanse of things that to get into. So, yeah.
Very cool. The one thing that I'm excited about that we started doing, have you heard of the EBO2 or EBU blood filtering?
I haven't, no.
Okay, so
I've heard of ozone, but I haven't heard of that.
So this is pretty cool. You'll love this stuff. So blood comes out of one arm. It goes through a filter. So things are being filtered out like microplastics and some of the other things that are in the blood. And then it gets medical ozone. And then goes through a light infusion machine, which is using light and pulse for the frequency. So you can increase nitric oxide in the blood, et cetera.
Right.
And then it goes back in the other arm.
Okay.
So it's a closed circuit, but it's about 4 to 6 liters of blood being filtered, ozoned, and stimulated within about an hour session.
Okay.
So it's super cool because you're seeing this dark blood come out, and then you're seeing this light blood go back in. You're like, damn, I'm getting the good stuff.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
And then there's this little reservoir where you can see the crap that's coming out. You see inflammation, which is foam, and you see the color changing within the water and what's coming out. And you're literally seeing the stuff come out of your blood, which is nuts.
That is pretty crazy.
But see, to me, that's something that's new, but if you don't even know about it, I feel like they just don't want this stuff to be out, maybe. I don't know, but
I mean, and like you say, microplastics, like that's a major thing too. I mean,
yes.
that
I'm sure I have a ton of microplastics.
Oh yeah, we all do. And there's some like ungodly amount that's supposed to be in our brain or something like that, like a teaspoon or something.
Oh, great.
Which is a lot. I mean, because it just leaches from like water bottles and things like that. So.
Do you guys have some detox methods you use too?
Not really.
Okay.
No, we don't. We don't really get into detox. We really try to optimize as far as vitamins and things like that, like methylated vitamins and stuff like that, but we don't really get into detox.
Okay, and you do hormone therapy?
We do hormone therapy, yes.
I think that's where we can work together great is send them over, I'll flush them out.
Exactly.
we do the colonics, so we're literally pulling the poop out, cleaning the organs out, and then we'll give you a fresh, clean body.
Slate, yes,
and you
I
can
like
just
that.
weight loss, hormones, get the rest all straight.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, I like that.
I think the whole integration like that is the future.
It is.
Where somebody has the time to talk to them like you do, still get them the conventional route because there's things you need, certain medications you need, there's certain blood work panels, things like that.
Right.
And then things like the therapies we do with colon hydrotherapy and hyperbaric, they all have their benefit to the body.
Right.
So it's just an integration where I feel like there is somewhere in the world where it's normal to do all these things.
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Because they don't want people to be sick because it costs more money to be sick.
Right.
Where we're just kind of reverse here.
It's a sick care system. Yeah.
Sick care system, for sure. So Chris, what is one thing you can tell everybody, or tell mainly those individuals who have been in and out with primary cares? They go in for a problem. They're a lot of times told that everything's okay because your labs are in order. And they're kind of stuck in this loop of going to the doc, but really not getting any answers on what's going on. Like, what could you give them as a suggestion on how to break that?
So that's a good question. So one of my main philosophies is let's keep it simple. So if you have cholesterol issues, what are you eating? Are you eating McDonald's every day? If you're having high blood pressure issues, what are you eating? Like if you can go back to the basics, if you can pretend like you're back in the 70s, what did they eat? They eat fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, fresh meat as close as possible to the from the farm to the table. So just do those things. Go to the farmer's market, go to the grocery store, shop from the outside. And a lot of those things will heal your body. You don't necessarily need medications to do it. A lot of times you'll go to the doctor's office and they're like, oh, everything's good. Well, you're on 5 different medications to make sure those numbers are right in there. So that's one thing that I really tell people is to make sure that you keep it simple. Go back to the basics.
Yeah, okay. So eat whole food, shop on the outside of the grocery store, and try to go to the local farmer's market in at least, 30 days before you see some kind of a difference maybe?
Yeah, usually depending on how far you're away from that.
Yeah.
If you kind of do that now, every once in a while, you go to doing that all the time, it may take a little longer. But if you eat out every day, you're eating fried foods, you're eating foods that are processed, you're eating things containing red dye and all those kind of things, and you go to a strictly just kind of holistic or kind of a whole food, you'll see results pretty quickly.
For sure, yeah.
So especially people with like GERD. I mean, people come in with GERD, which is gas, a lot of gas. I mean, we have medications that just kind of suppress it, which isn't always a good thing. So, but if you can just change your diet, a lot of times all those things will work themselves out.
Well, I appreciate you coming on.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me. Yes, thanks for having me.
And I look forward to the next podcast we should do is we should pick like a specific topic.
Okay.
And how we both can work together for that specific topic.
I like that.
And then we can bring both our expertise in our different areas there for that. That'd be cool.
All right, cool. I like that.
Yeah, man. Thank you.